Chosen one, listen carefully. What I am about to speak is not suggestion. It is not encouragement. It is not a gentle whisper disguised as guidance. This is the final declaration over your life. The moment of soft signs has passed. The days of subtle warnings have expired. God has spoken. Not once, not twice, but again and again. And yet still, your feet are glued to the ground, your mouth locked behind excuses, your spirit suffocating beneath hesitation. But now the line has been drawn. Not ahead of you, beneath you. You are not approaching decision. You are standing on it. And every breath you take without response is a verdict written in the atmosphere. Every second you delay is the erosion of mercy dripping into silence. This is not the beginning of your story. This is the reckoning of it. You must feel it by now, that pressure in your chest, the ache that gnaws at your ribs in the stillness of the night, the quiet that wraps around you like fog, not as comfort, but as a suffocating reminder that your silence has gone too far. You prayed for confirmation. It came. You begged for clarity. It arrived. You demanded timing. It was declared. And yet, you stayed still. You disguised rebellion as caution. You labeled disobedience as discernment. But heaven is not deceived. You were never chosen to be comfortable. You were not called to remain idle while destiny waits. A fire burning beneath your hesitation is not anxiety. It is not fear. It is the groaning of unfulfilled purpose, clawing at the walls of your spirit, demanding release. But release requires movement, and movement demands response. Chosen one, neutrality is no longer an option. You cannot straddle the line between obedience and delay. You cannot dance along the edge of calling and complacency. The divine does not stretch timelines for convenience. The doors carved for your arrival are not eternal. The portals placed before your path are sacred, and sacred spaces are not designed to tolerate passivity. You have convinced yourself there is time. You have whispered that perhaps tomorrow is safer. You have entertained the lie that another sign will come. But signs have been flooding your atmosphere like storms. The dreams that wake you in cold sweat. The relationships crumbling under unseen pressure. The divine unrest clawing at your spirit every time you close your eyes. These are not coincidences. These are alarms. Blazing, roaring, undeniable alarms demanding your obedience. But still, you hesitate. Still, you barter with heaven, offering. Delay wrapped as prayer, stalling beneath the illusion of caution. But chosen one, every second you delay, you unravel the very alignment crafted for your advancement. You are formed to ignite. You were built to disrupt. You were chosen to roar when others retreat. But silence has betrayed your assignment. And now the clock strikes the final hour. This is the season where mercy has conditions, where divine favor aligns with obedience, not with waiting. You are not chosen to observe. You were created to act. You were marked not for suggestion, but for instruction. And when instruction is ignored, protection retracts. When obedience is delayed, purpose decays. The ache you carry is not confusion. It is the byproduct of disobedience. It is the grief of a calling silenced by comfort. And every moment you linger in hesitation, the atmosphere adjusts. The people tied to your assignment walk into storms they were never meant to face alone. The territories crafted for your authority remain locked behind your silence. And the miracles assigned to your obedience wither beneath the dust of delay. You were sent as a weapon, as a vessel, as a sound. But every time you mute your roar, the enemy grows bold. Every moment you refuse to rise, darkness celebrates. And heaven waits, not forever, but long enough for the consequences to arrive. Chosen one, the divine has spoken, not in riddles, not in mysteries, but in clarity. You have asked for signs. They came. You begged for more time. It passed. You demanded another confirmation. It arrived. And now, every delay you entertain is betrayal, disguised as caution. You cannot expect divine alignment while resisting divine command. You cannot beg for overflow while remaining anchored to passivity. The fire you feel suffocating your chest is not a burden. It is a warning, a final echo of heaven's voice pressing against your hesitation, demanding obedience. The windows of opportunity stretch only so far. The alignment crafted for your advancement waits only so long. And now, the edges of that alignment tremble beneath your delay. Do not deceive yourself. You are not in a holding pattern. You are in the final moments, before divine withdrawal. The space where silence thickens not as peace, but as consequence. You prayed for direction. It was given. You pleaded for answers. They were delivered. And still, you stall. Chosen one. Neutrality is no longer tolerated. The battlefield does not honor spectators. You are armed with authority, cloaked in calling, saturated in assignment. And yet, you shrink beneath the weight of your own hesitation. But every second you remain still, you erode the foundation crafted for your impact. The divine does not beg. Heaven does not plead. When the time arrives, it demands response. And now, that time has arrived. You are not preparing for the moment. You are standing inside it. The ground beneath your feet is the threshold. The atmosphere pressing against your spirit is the final alarm. And every delayed step is an agreement with your own replacement. Make no mistake, the chosen are not irreplaceable. The assignment will advance. The mission will proceed. The only question remains, will your name still be written within that advancing narrative? Or will you become a monument of what could have been? Have you ever asked yourself what happens when the sound buried inside you rots beneath your silence? Chosen one, the weight pressing against your chest is not confusion. It is destiny suffocating while you hesitate. You were never marked to retreat. You were crafted to fracture the atmosphere. If these words strike the ache you've been hiding, comment below, I refuse replacement. Let heaven hear your defiance. And subscribe now, because this platform speaks to the fire within you, not your comfort. Your silence invites erasure. Your obedience ignites awakening. Decide. Now, before the silence buries you, you feel it, the weight, the ache. The suffocating quiet that once comforted you now presses with urgency. That is not random. That is divine frustration roaring against your passivity. You have convinced yourself there is safety in stillness, but stillness is surrender. Delay is disobedience, and disobedience dismantles destiny. Chosen one, you are never meant to blend into shadows. You were forged to fracture darkness. You were carved to awaken atmospheres. You were chosen to ignite fires where silence once reigned, but your hesitation has suffocated your authority. Your silence has muted your assignment. And now, heaven watches, not with pity, but with expectation. The next sound, the next step, the next breath of obedience is yours to release. But the window narrows. The patience of heaven wears thin. The doors carved for your arrival creak beneath your delay. And soon, if your silence persists, the atmosphere will adjust without you. The mission will be handed to another. The sound assigned to your life will roar from the lips of one willing to obey. Do not romanticize delay. Do not entertain the lie of endless opportunity. The divine is strategic. The kingdom is precise. And your hesitation fractures more than your future. It suffocates the destinies tethered to your obedience. You are not isolated. Your assignment is woven into the fabric of generations. Your silence echoes beyond your lifespan. The souls assigned to your voice remain bound beneath your stillness, and the miracles crafted for your alignment wither beneath the dust of your delay. Chosen one, the time is no longer tomorrow. It is now. The decision is not forthcoming. It is present. You stand upon the line, not near it. And every moment you hesitate, you drift from the divine current crafted for your advancement. God, do not confuse divine patience with passive tolerance. Do not mistake comfort for alignment. The ache within you is the final alarm of heaven. The suffocating weight is the erosion of mercy beneath hesitation. The atmosphere is shifted. The alignment awaits. The assignment trembles beneath your silence. And the divine is no longer whispering. It has spoken. The next move is not heaven's. It is yours. Respond. Before the silence consumes what remains of your calling. Chosen one, listen. Your stillness is not neutral. Your silence is not protection. Every moment you stand frozen beneath the weight of your calling, you are not safe. You are exposed. You have convinced yourself that waiting is wisdom, that hesitation is discernment. But heaven does not confuse disobedience with caution. The divine is not deceived by delay disguised as spiritual strategy. You were never designed to survive in hesitation. You were formed for movement, for sound, for disruption. And yet, your silence has betrayed the very design heaven wove into your being. You feel it now, don't you? The tightness in your chest, the heaviness pressing against your ribs. That is not random. That is the suffocation of destiny beneath your delay. Make no mistake. You are not chosen for silence. You are not marked for stillness. You were crafted to ignite, to awaken, to fracture systems built on fear and passivity. But your hesitation has dulled your edge. Your inaction has weakened your influence. And now, every moment you remain frozen, the atmosphere shifts not in your favor, but in alignment with your delay. The divine has spoken. The commands have echoed through your spirit. The signs have surrounded your atmosphere. You prayed for confirmation. It came. You begged for clarity. It was delivered. You demanded timing. It arrived. And still, you stand? Still. Stillness is no longer a strategy. It is surrender. It is silent rebellion wrapped in spiritual reasoning. You must understand the cost of delay. Every second you hesitate, the alignment designed for your advancement deteriorates. The doors crafted for your obedience creak under the weight of your refusal to move. The people tethered to your assignment wander in storms they were never meant to face alone. The miracles assigned to your footsteps wither beneath your hesitation. Chosen one, this is not punishment. It is consequence. Heaven does not rearrange divine strategy to accommodate human comfort. The mission proceeds with or without your participation. The only question that remains, will your name still be written within the unfolding narrative? Or will your delay rewrite your destiny as a warning, not a wonder? Do not be deceived. You are not in a holding pattern. You are in the final stages, before divine withdrawal. The patience of heaven is not infinite. The windows of alignment are sacred, but they are not eternal. The divine has extended mercy beyond measure, but mercy has a lifespan when met with constant hesitation. You prayed for more signs. They came. You begged for more time. It passed. You pleaded for another confirmation. It arrived. And now, every moment you delay is not uncertainty, it is betrayal. Betrayal of the calling marked upon your life. Betrayal of the souls assigned your obedience. Betrayal of the divine strategy woven through your existence. Chosen one, neutrality has expired. There is no more middle ground. You stand on the line, not near it. Every moment of hesitation is a step away from alignment, a drift from divine purpose, a retreat from destiny. You were formed to advance, to disrupt, to awaken. But your silence has paralyzed your authority. Your delay has suffocated your assignment. The divine is no longer whispering. Heaven has spoken. Not in riddles, not in mysteries, but in clarity, you know what to do. You have known for longer than you admit. The ache in your spirit, the unrest in your atmosphere, the heaviness in your chest, they are not coincidences. They are alarms, roaring through your hesitation, demanding obedience. You cannot claim to be chosen while choosing silence. You cannot beg for advancement while remaining anchored to delay. The divine does not bless rebellion wrapped in religious language. Heaven does not fund hesitation disguised as humility. The ache you feel is not anxiety. It is divine frustration pressing against your disobedience. The suffocation within your chest is the weight of calling decaying beneath your refusal to act. You prayed for peace, but peace is not passive. Peace follows obedience, not delay. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Your stillness is costing more than you comprehend. It is not just your destiny at stake. The chains that were meant to break beneath your obedience remain intact. The territories designed for your authority remain locked. The souls tethered to your voice remain bound, and the miracles assigned to your movement wither in silence. You think you have time. You believe another opportunity will arise, but opportunities are not infinite. They are divine intersections crafted for obedience, not delay. The doors that remain open are not permanent. The windows that stretch for your advancement narrow with every moment of hesitation. You prayed for signs. You received them. You asked for timing. It was declared. You demanded confirmation. It echoed through your dreams, your atmosphere, your spirit. And now, your silence is not uncertainty. It is rebellion. Your delay is not discernment. It is disobedience. The divine does not tolerate indefinite hesitation. The mission cannot anchor to passivity. The kingdom does not advance through stillness. You are not crafted to contemplate destiny. You were formed to disrupt it, to awaken it, to ignite it, but your silence has suffocated your sound. Your hesitation has muted your roar. Your delay has dismantled your alignment. And now, heaven watches, not with pity, but with expectation. The next sound is yours. The next step is your responsibility. The next movement must come from your obedience. But the window narrows. The patience of heaven stretches thin. The atmosphere shifts. And if your silence persists, the assignment will adjust without you. The mission will be handed to another. The sound you refuse to release will roar from the lips of one willing to obey. Do not romanticize delay. Do not disguise rebellion as caution. The divine is strategic. The kingdom is precise. Your hesitation fractures more than your future. It suffocates generations tethered to your obedience. You are not isolated. Your assignment is woven into the fabric of others' destinies. Your silence echoes through generations. Your delay ripples into the lives of those tied to your calling. Chosen one, neutrality has expired. This is not preparation. This is the moment. You stand on the line. Every second you hesitate is agreement with your own replacement. The ache within you is the final alarm of heaven. The suffocating weight is divine frustration, demanding obedience. The atmosphere has shifted. The alignment awaits. The assignment trembles beneath your delay. The divine is no longer whispering. It has spoken. Respond. Before the silence consumes what remains of your calling. Chosen one, you are not standing in a safe space. You are not floating in neutrality, protected by ignorance. You know what has been spoken over your life. You know the weight that presses against your spirit. You know the ache that has suffocated your chest for far too long. That ache is not confusion. It is consequence forming in the atmosphere around you. You have delayed. You have stood still while destiny waited. You have disguised hesitation as wisdom. You have labeled your rebellion as discernment. But heaven has not been fooled by your language. God has not been deceived by your excuses. The truth is clear. Every moment you delay fractures the very alignment heaven stretched for your arrival. The doors designed for your obedience are not eternal. The windows crafted for your advancement are sacred, but they are shrinking. The clock does not stop because you are afraid to move. The divine timeline is not rewritten to accommodate your insecurity. You were chosen for a reason. But chosen is not permission to pause indefinitely. It is a responsibility carved into the fabric of your existence. It is an instruction etched into your bones. And when that instruction is ignored, when that responsibility is rejected, consequence arrives. The consequence is not always immediate. It does not always roar like thunder or shatter like glass. Sometimes it creeps, silent, suffocating, subtle. You feel it in the closing doors, in the opportunities that slip through your hands like vapor, in the divine connections that wither without warning. You feel it when the atmosphere grows heavy, when your prayers echo in empty spaces, when your spirit feels disconnected from the very presence that once saturated your existence. You have called this warfare. You have labeled it spiritual attack. But chosen one, hear me. This is not the enemy invading your life. This is consequence. This is heaven stepping back. This is the natural order of delayed obedience, unraveling your alignment. You prayed for more time. You begged for more signs. You demanded another confirmation. But heaven does not stretch mercy for the unwilling. You were given direction. You received instruction. You felt the fire burn beneath your hesitation, and still you stalled. But now the delay carries weight. The silence around your life is no longer peace. It is the evidence of disconnection. The heaviness upon your chest is no longer divine prompting. It is the suffocation of neglected purpose. Chosen one, your hesitation is not isolated. Your delay is not contained. Every moment you stand still ripples through the lives of those assigned to your obedience. The people you were crafted to awaken remain bound beneath your silence. The atmospheres you were formed to shift remain stagnant in your absence. The miracles tethered to your movement wither beneath your refusal to act out. This is the true cost of delay. It is not just your destiny at risk. It is generations tied to your obedience. It is territories crafted for your authority. It is legacies woven into your assignment. And your silence is unraveling them. Thread by thread, you have convinced yourself. There is still time. You have entertained the lie that hesitation is harmless. But chosen one, neutrality expired the moment the divine spoke. You were not created to observe. You were not marked to wait. You were chosen to act, to ignite, to disrupt. And every moment you delay is a step toward replacement. Yes, replacement. The divine is not desperate. The kingdom is not held hostage by your fear. If you refuse to rise, another will. If you refuse to roar, another will echo. If you refuse to move, heaven will reroute the mission. And the alignment you neglected will fall upon one willing to obey. You feel it now, don't you? The ache growing, heavier, the frustration pressing against your spirit, the suffocating weight in your atmosphere. This is not punishment. It is heaven's final alarm. It is the last echo of mercy before consequence takes its full shape. Make no mistake. You are standing in the final stretch of divine patience. The signs have been sent. The dreams have spoken. The alignments have shifted. The atmosphere has declared it. God has spoken. Your next step determines everything. You cannot bargain with the timeline. You cannot negotiate with destiny. The doors will not remain open while you debate your courage. The windows will not stretch forever while you argue with your fear. The divine is precise. The mission is strategic. And you, chosen one, have a decision to make. Delay again, and the consequence deepens. Stand still once more, and the atmosphere adjusts without you. Remain silent, and your voice will be replaced. You prayed for influence. You begged for opportunity. You demanded destiny, but destiny demands obedience. Influence requires response. Opportunity bows to movement. You cannot cling to purpose while suffocating it beneath your delay. You cannot carry calling while dismantling alignment with every hesitant breath. The ache you feel is not random. The suffocation pressing against your chest is not punishment. It is divine urgency demanding obedience. It is heaven leaning in, roaring for your response. Chosen one, the silence around your life is no longer divine stillness. It is the early evidence of consequence forming. It is the subtle unraveling of alignment. And soon, if you refuse to move, the silence will become absence. The disconnection will become distance. The frustration will become final. You have asked for signs. They came. You begged for confirmation. It echoed. You pleaded for more time. It expired. Now, only one thing remains. Obedience. And every moment you delay is a step away from destiny, a drift from alignment, a retreat from purpose. The divine does not beg. Heaven does not wait. The mission proceeds. The kingdom advances. The alignment adjusts. Will your name remain written within that narrative? Or will your silence erase it? The next move is yours. Respond. Before the consequence consumes what remains of your calling. Chosen one, the hour is no longer waiting for your fear to subside. The timeline of heaven is not bending for your delay. You have mistaken this weight in your chest as pressure to be analyzed, but it is divine urgency, roaring against your stillness. The moment you thought was far off is now under your feet. You are not walking toward a decision. You are standing in the aftermath of refusing to make one. Heaven is not repeating itself. The signs have been sent. The silence that surrounds you now is not stillness. It is consequence thickening. You have entertained the lie that neutrality is safe, but neutrality has become rebellion cloaked in religious language. Delay is no longer misunderstood. It is judged. You cannot wait forever while purpose collapses beneath your excuses. You are not sculpted to linger in shadows. You are not designed to tiptoe near destiny. You are crafted to roar into rooms bound by fear, to ignite atmospheres addicted to apathy. But silence has inverted your design. Your sound has been buried beneath the weight of hesitation, and heaven is shifting in response. The line has already been drawn beneath you, not ahead. Every second you breathe in hesitation, every heartbeat that refuses to move, rewrites the scroll that once carried your name in bold. And soon, if your silence continues, the assignment will be transferred, not because heaven is cruel, but because heaven is holy. The divine will not risk its strategies on the unwilling. You prayed for clarity. It came. You asked for confirmation. It echoed through every fiber of your atmosphere. You demanded more signs. They shattered your routines. And now, the silence that presses against your spirit is not mystery. It is the echo of what could have been if you had moved when you were told to rise. Chosen one, this is not a moment of contemplation. It is a threshold. The atmosphere does not feel heavy by accident. The pressure is not random. The unrest is not a test. These are the final tremors before replacement. You are standing inside the space where destiny unravels, not because was flawed, but because it was delayed. The divine is not passive. The kingdom is not sentimental. Heaven will not cling to a vessel more in love with safety than obedience. You think your delay is personal, but it is public in the spirit. The realm of the unseen has already begun adjusting. The assignments are shifting. The hosts assigned to your path now wait not with patience, but with new instructions should. Your silence persist. You were chosen. Yes. But chosen does not mean guaranteed. Chosen means responsible. Chosen means accountable. And accountability does not excuse rebellion disguised as waiting on God. Let this be clear. You were created to disrupt timelines, not distort them. You were formed to break strongholds, not fortify them with your inaction. Every moment you hesitate, you strengthen the systems you were born to dismantle. Do you not see it? The opportunities once drawn to your name now drift away. The alignments that once pulsed with promise now shrink in silence. The doors that once flew open now creak shut, inch by inch. And your delay is the hand pushing them closed. This is not spiritual attack. This is divine order being maintained without your cooperation. Heaven has given you space. Grace has lingered longer than it should have. But now the timeline narrows. The divine hourglass pours the last grains of opportunity. And each one falls not on your preparation, but on your refusal. Chosen one, you are not being punished. You are being bypassed, not because you weren't capable, but because you chose comfort over calling, delay over destiny, hesitation over obedience. And when chosen ones refuse to carry the fire is handed to another. This is not theory. This is the law of replacement, a sacred principle woven into the foundation of time. The divine will never beg. It will assign. And if the assigned delays, it will reassign. You were once ahead, but your delay has made you fall behind in a race no one else could run but you. And now, heaven is no longer holding the door. It waits for no one, not even the chosen. This is your final tremor, the last warning before the silence becomes cement, before the ache in your spirit becomes absence, before the fire becomes only memory. Chosen one, listen well. You have stood still long enough. The mercy extended has been costly, and the assignment now trembles in uncertainty, not because heaven is unsure, but because heaven prepares to move. On, you must rise. You must roar. You must break the silence before the silence replaces you. The next move is not God's. It is yours. Chosen one. Hear this with your spirit wide awake. You are no longer approaching the line. You are standing on it. The time of divine whispers has ended. The season of gentle nudges has passed. God has spoken. Heaven is not repeating itself. The only sound left is your reaction or your rebellion. You think the silence is God being distant. But silence now is not absence. It is judgment preparing to unfold. You have delayed long enough. Your stillness is no longer protection. It is spiritual erosion. Your hesitation is dismantling the very assignment heaven stretched over your life. Every moment you resist obedience, the atmosphere shifts. The doors meant to open with your arrival creak beneath your delay. The souls tied to your voice remain, shackled in darkness. The miracles waiting for your movement wither in the silence of your rebellion. This is not fear-mongering. This is truth, brutal, clear, divine truth. You prayed for clarity. It came. You begged for timing. It arrived. You demanded signs. They echoed through every fiber of your being. And now, every second you hesitate is not wisdom. It is disobedience. Chosen one, neutrality expired when heaven declared your assignment. You cannot blend into shadows. You cannot hide beneath comfort. You are crafted to disrupt, to ignite, to awaken. But your delay is muting your sound. Your hesitation is suffocating your authority. And soon, the alignment will not wait. The mission will not pause. The kingdom will advance, with you or without you. You feel the weight. You sense the atmosphere trembling. That is not anxiety. That is consequence pressing against your chest. Heaven is not negotiating anymore. The divine is observing. The next move is not God's. It is yours. Respond. Or prepare to watch your assignment ignite in the hands of another. Chosen one, hear this clearly. This is no longer a moment of waiting. You are not being offered more time. You are not being extended. Another round of mercy dressed as delay. You have crossed the line. You are standing inside the consequence of hesitation. God has spoken. The heavens have thundered. The atmosphere has shifted. And now, the only voice left to sound is yours, or the voice of another, carrying what you refuse to release. You feel the weight, the ache behind your ribs, the suffocating pressure pressing against your chest. That is not random discomfort. It is destiny collapsing under the weight of your silence. You have been warned. Through dreams, through delays, through the unraveling of alignments you once thought were uncheckable. Every sign was sent, every confirmation delivered. But still, you hesitated. You stood still when you were told to rise. You whispered excuses when heaven demanded obedience. But listen carefully. The silence that surrounds you now is not safety. It is spiritual exposure. It is heaven stepping back, not to abandon, but to reveal the cracks your delay has carved into your foundation. Chosen one, neutrality is gone. You are either aligned or you are adrift. You are either moving or being moved out of the way. The kingdom does not stall for hesitation. The divine timeline does not bend for fear. The mission advances with you or without you, and if not with you, then through another. That is the verdict no one wants to speak aloud. That chosen does not mean irreplaceable. That calling ignored becomes calling reassigned. That destiny delayed becomes destiny lost. You prayed for God to speak again, but He has already spoken. His words surrounded your spirit. His instructions carved themselves into your bones. His signs filled the atmosphere. And still, you delayed. Now, heaven is silent. Not because the divine has abandoned you, but because the divine is observing. The next sound is yours, or your replacements, the ache you carry, the pressure behind your ribs, the frustration in. Your atmosphere is not confusion. It is consequence. It is heaven's final warning system echoing within your spirit. Make no mistake. You are not safe in stillness. You are not protected by passivity. You are exposed by your refusal to obey. You think you have more time. But time in the spiritual realm is not measured by human calendars. It is counted in obedience. And your delay has drained the clock. The doors designed for your advancement creak under the weight of your refusal. The alignment crafted for your elevation fractures with every breath wasted on hesitation. You were chosen to disrupt. You were marked to ignite. You were sent to awaken. But your silence has muted your sound. Your hesitation has suffocated your authority. And now, you stand at the final intersection. The next move determines everything. You can no longer linger between calling and comfort. You can no longer entertain the lie that more signs are coming. You are the sign. Your movement is the confirmation. Your obedience is the activation, or your replacement is. You must choose now response or removal. There is no third option. The mission will proceed. The kingdom will advance. The atmosphere will shift, and your name will either echo within that advancement or fade into the archives of what could have been. Chosen one, the ache you carry, the unrest within your spirit, the tension in your atmosphere, they are not punishment. They are consequence preparing to solidify. They are heaven's final attempt to ignite your obedience. But final means final. You stand upon the verdict. God has spoken. Now move, before silence becomes your sentence. Chosen one, you still feel it, don't you? That quiet trembling under your ribs, that ache clawing at your chest like something ancient fighting to break free. That's not fear. That's not doubt. That is the final sound of destiny knocking before the door seals shut. You have hesitated long enough. You have stalled beneath the illusion that tomorrow will offer what today demands. But heaven does not wait for your comfort. The divine does not pause for your insecurity. God has spoken. His words still echo through the cracks of your delay, but they will not echo forever. The atmosphere has shifted. The assignment is trembling. The alignment is unraveling thread by thread. You are out of time for indecision. You are out of space for rebellion, disguised as hesitation. One step forward reignites your alignment. One more moment of stillness finalizes your replacement. The next sound is yours, or the silence that follows will not be emptiness. It will be elimination.move.now.